After payday, the dormitory atmosphere starts to change. Foreign workers begin pulling out large boxes, one by one. And most foreign workers end up asking the same question. Should they use the post office or a freight company? The post office feels safer, but the prices are much higher. Freight companies are cheaper, but many workers still feel uncertain about them. Some boxes arrive in just 1 week. Others can stay delayed for more than a month. That is why the night before shipping becomes stressful. People start wondering whether safety is worth the extra cost. The first choice many foreign workers make is the post office, especially people shipping overseas for the first time. The post office is known for having accurate tracking systems. That is why many families feel more comfortable with it. The mood changes completely when electronics are involved. Some people choose the post office because they fear losing them. But the atmosphere changes once they see the price board. As the weight goes up, the faces become more serious too. So some foreign workers reopen their boxes right away. Korean snacks and ramen are often the first things removed. Many people say the post office rules are very strict, especially when it comes to food and sealed products. Sometimes electronics lead to longer explanations from the staff. That is when people suddenly reopen their translation apps. Many workers wrap their boxes with several layers of plastic. Some even prepare extra shock-proof packaging by themselves. And first-time visitors often struggle with writing addresses. Some keep staring at their phones because of English spelling. Conversations with the staff can become difficult at times, so both sides often end up looking at the same translation app. Many workers say Thailand and Vietnam deliveries arrive quickly. That is why some people only use the post office now. But rural areas can sometimes take much longer to reach. Some regions even require additional delivery transfers. And once the tracking screen finally starts moving again, people slowly begin relaxing again. Some foreign workers check the tracking page many times a day. It almost feels like waiting for important exam results. Many workers become nervous once customs inspection begins. Once the tracking freezes, group chat questions begin increasing too. Still, deliveries are usually stable in most situations. That is why many people send family gifts through the post office. But many workers also worry about the expensive costs, especially when the size of the box keeps getting bigger. So some people reorganize everything inside the box again. Just trying to reduce even 1 kilogram becomes important. Some workers eventually choose to use only the post office, especially when the package is meant for their parents. And once the delivery confirmation message finally arrives, that is when many foreign workers finally put their phones down. On the other hand, many workers choose freight companies instead, especially people who ship large boxes more regularly. Freight companies are usually much cheaper than the post office. That is why many people send much larger packages through them. Some companies even come directly to worker dormitories, so the hallways become much busier during days off. And some companies offer support in local languages as well. That is why first-time customers often feel more comfortable. The price difference becomes even bigger with heavier packages. Some people even send electronics together with daily necessities. Many boxes are filled with Korean ramen and snack products because families back home are already waiting for them. Some parents also send clothes for their children back home, especially before the weather changes into another season. That is why some boxes stop looking like simple deliveries. They begin to feel more like small pieces of everyday life. But freight companies can vary greatly depending on the business. That is why checking reviews almost becomes a required process. Some companies gain a good reputation among workers. Others become difficult to contact once the shipment is sent. That is why group chats suddenly become much more active. People constantly ask if anyone has used that company before. The atmosphere changes quickly whenever deliveries start getting delayed. Suddenly, everyone keeps refreshing the tracking page. During Songkran and holiday seasons, delays become even more common. Sometimes large piles of boxes begin stacking up all at once. And there is one moment people fear more than anything else. It is when the tracking screen stops updating for several days. That is when workers suddenly start asking everyone around them. People keep checking whether this kind of delay happens often. Still, many workers say the price difference is hard to ignore. That is why they continue using freight companies again and again. Especially for workers who send boxes very frequently, workers who have stayed in Korea longer often share recommendations. But once stories about lost packages begin spreading around, people suddenly start double-checking company names once again. That is why many workers keep taking photos of their boxes, just in case something goes wrong later. And once the family confirms the package safely arrived home, that is when many foreign workers finally smile with relief. Many foreigners are surprised after using Korean post offices. People often say the system is more accurate than expected. Freight companies are very different depending on the country involved. Even Thai shipping companies can have completely different prices. That is why experienced workers choose companies very carefully. Many people warn others not to trust cheap prices too quickly. The post office feels safer, but the costs can become overwhelming, especially when customs taxes are added on top of everything. Freight companies are cheaper and often feel less complicated. So, in the end, finding a trustworthy company matters the most.